So you already have a cat or a dog, and now there is a rabbit in the picture. Or maybe it's the other way around, and the bunny was here first. Either way, you are standing in your flat trying to work out whether these animals can ever share a home. And the little voice in your head is wondering if you are about to make a terrible mistake. That worry is the right instinct to have, because this is the one introduction where rushing it can cost a life, and getting it right is slow, boring, and absolutely worth it. I'm a rabbit owner, not a vet, and definitely not an animal behaviorist. Everything here is what I have learned living with rabbits in a small Singapore flat and watching other owners in the local groups get this right and sometimes get it badly wrong. It is not medical or behavioral advice. It is one owner walking you calmly through how to keep a prey animal safe in a house that also contains a predator. Here is what we are going to cover. Why your rabbit's whole body is wired to see a cat or a dog as a threat, how to honestly assess your existing pet before you even start, the slow scent first staged introduction that actually works, why barriers and supervision are non-negotiable, how to read fear in your rabbit, and the hard truth that for some animals this will never work, and that being okay. Let us start with the thing everyone underestimates. Your rabbit is a prey animal, all the way down. A cat or a dog is, to a rabbit, a predator, even the laziest, gentlest, most cuddly pet you have ever owned. And here is the part that catches people out. Your rabbit does not need to be chased or touched to be terrified. Just knowing a hunting animal is nearby, hearing it, smelling it, seeing it sit above them, triggers a real physical stress response. A rabbit can be scared to the point of harm without a single moment of contact. That last point matters more than it sounds. A rabbit registers a cat sitting above them as a predator looming overhead, the way a hawk would. So an enclosure with an open mesh top that the cat can perch on is not safe just because there are bars between them. The rabbit underneath is living in low-grade terror all day, and the worst part is that you might not even see it, because a frightened rabbit goes still and quiet, rather than loud. It is easy to look at a silent bunny and think it is calm, when really it is frozen. When we get to setup, this is why the top of the rabbit's space has to be solid enough that the cat simply cannot sit on it, and why a rabbit that can hear or smell the predator constantly, even from another room, never really gets to switch off. Before you plan a single introduction, you have to be honest about the animal you already have, and this is the step people skip because they have already decided they want it to work. Start with the cat. A lower risk cat is older, calmer, has a low prey drive, does not spend all day obsessively stalking birds or shadows, and is already used to small animals being around. That is the cat you can cautiously work with. A higher risk cat is the opposite, and I need you to take this seriously. A cat that is not yet neutered or spayed. A cat under a year old that is still in full hunt drive. A cat with a real history of hunting. A cat that has been an outdoor hunter. That cat is high risk, and the honest rule from the guide is blunt. A cat with strong prey drive cannot reliably be trained out of it, and one bad day costs a rabbit its life. If your cat is genuinely high risk, the answer is not to introduce a rabbit at all. Dogs are a slightly different shape of the same problem. Some dogs, especially calm older ones with low prey drive, can learn to be peacefully indifferent to a rabbit, but breeds and individuals with a strong chase or hunting instinct are a serious risk, and a dog does not need to bite to kill a rabbit. A single excited pounce, or even the panic of being chased around the room, can be fatal, because a rabbit can quite literally die of fright. Dogs are also bigger and clumsier in a small flat, so even a friendly dog that just wants to play can crush or corner a rabbit by accident. So the same honesty applies. Assess the actual animal in front of you, not the well-behaved dog you are hoping it will turn into once it meets the bunny. If your honest assessment lands on high risk, please hear this without guilt. Choosing to keep them permanently separate, or choosing not to bring a rabbit into a home with a hunting cat, is not a failure. It is you being a responsible owner who put the prey animal's life above your wish for a cute multi-pet household. Some animals just are what they are, and respecting that is the kind thing to do. Okay, say your assessment is cautiously hopeful. Before any introduction starts, the physical setup has to be right. because the barriers are what keep everyone alive while trust is being built. Your rabbit needs a dedicated space the other animal genuinely cannot access. That means a room with the door closed, or a sturdy baby gate, or a solid wire enclosure, and as we said, a top solid enough that a cat cannot sit on it. Here is where Singapore living adds its own wrinkles. Our flats are small, often 2 or 3 bedrooms total. So dedicating a room to the rabbit really does cost you space, and you have to be willing to give it rather than half commit. HDB doors can have small gaps at the bottom, and the determined cat will exploit a tiny opening, squeezing through a gap that looks far too small, so a door sweep or weather strip is worth fitting and checking it actually seals. Older flats can have aircon ductwork and vents a cat can navigate, so look at those too and block anything questionable. And if you have a balcony, the rabbit should never have unsupervised access to it, because a cat will follow, and a startled rabbit near a ledge in a high-rise flat is a risk you do not want to take. None of this is hard, but all of it has to be done before the first introduction, not after. Now, the introduction itself, and the single most important thing about it, is that it is measured in months, not days. There are 4 phases, and you do not rush from one to the next just because a session went well. The cat seemed fine after 1 supervised hour means almost nothing. This is a slow build, and slow is the whole point. Phase 1 is scent only, and it can run for the first couple of weeks. The animals do not see each other at all. You simply swap their smells, taking a towel or cloth from one animal's space and placing it in the other's, so each one gets used to the idea of the other existing, without any threat attached. Smell is how both these animals read the world, so this quiet, invisible phase is doing far more work than it looks like it is. While you do this, you are watching for stress. A rabbit thumping its foot, a cat growling at the door, either animal going off its food. Those are signs you slow down, not speed up. If either animal is tense just from the smell, they are nowhere near ready to see each other yet, and there is no prize for going faster. Phase 2 is visual contact through a solid barrier, often around weeks 3 and 4. Now they can see each other, but through a baby gate or wire mesh they cannot get past. Keep the very first sessions short, 5 to 10 minutes, and stay right there the whole time. You are reading both animals closely. A relaxed cat that loses interest is good. A cat that crouches with dilated pupils and a fixed focused stare is showing you serious prey drive, and that is a sign this may need to be abandoned. On the rabbit side, you want calm, ideally eating near the barrier, not constant thumping and fleeing. Phase 3, which might not come until the 2nd or 3rd month, is both animals loose in the same room. And the rule here is absolute. Always supervised, never alone, not even for a minute to answer the door. Keep these sessions short, 10 to 15 minutes, and remember what you are actually aiming for. The goal is peaceful indifference, 2 animals that can share a space and ignore each other. You are not trying to manufacture a friendship, and you do not need them to cuddle. Calm coexistence is the win. Phase 4 is the ongoing reality if everything has gone well. And I want to be very clear about it, because this is where people get complacent. Even after months of calm sessions, you never leave a rabbit and a cat or dog unsupervised together permanently. The supervision does not graduate into trust. You can walk away from. When you are not in the room, the rabbit goes back behind its barrier. That is not paranoia. That is just the deal you accept when you keep a prey animal and a predator under one roof. Let us talk about reading your rabbit's fear, because the rabbit will tell you how this is going long before anything goes wrong. A frightened rabbit thumps. It refuses to eat or drink near the barrier. It avoids the shared space entirely. It freezes or crouches tense in a corner trying to disappear. Those are not the signs of a rabbit that is slowly getting comfortable. Those are the signs of an animal living in fear, and they mean you back all the way up to an earlier phase or stop completely. I am not going to walk you through every nuance of rabbit body language here. That is its own whole topic, and there is a separate guide for it. The short version is that you are looking for the difference between a rabbit that is gradually relaxing, starting to eat and move normally near the other animal, and a rabbit that stays tense week after week. Progress should look like a slow, steady thaw, A little more ease each week. Not a rabbit that is exactly as frightened on week 6 as it was on day 1. If weeks of patient phase 2 and phase 3 go by and your rabbit never settles, that is your answer. And the kind thing is to stop and let the rabbit live separately and safely rather than force a coexistence it is telling you it cannot do. Now the hard part, the part I would rather you hear from me now than learn the bad way later. Some cats and some dogs never accept a rabbit, and the introduction should be abandoned. That is not a reflection on you. And if there is ever an actual attack, even what looks like a minor nip, you separate them immediately, and there is no casual reintroduction. A bite is not a small thing for a rabbit, because predator saliva can carry bacteria that cause a dangerous infection, and it can turn fatal if it is not treated. So any bite, however small, means an urgent trip to a rabbit-savvy vet, fast. I want to name the 3 mistakes that hurt rabbits in mixed homes here, because they are so common. The first is rushing the timeline, deciding that 1 good hour means they are integrated when this is genuinely a job of months. The second is leaving them alone together, even briefly, because brief is all it takes. And the third, the quiet one, is being dishonest in that first assessment, wanting it to work so badly that you talk yourself past the prey drive you can clearly see. A high-risk cat means no rabbit, full stop, and the bravest thing you can do is admit it. And let me describe what success actually looks like, because it is quieter than people expect. A settled mixed home is not a cute photo of a cat snuggled up to a bunny. It is a rabbit that eats calmly even when the other animal is in the room, that does not thump or freeze, 2 animals that simply ignore each other. A rabbit that always goes back behind its barrier the moment you leave, and an owner who has fully accepted that the supervision is forever. That is the version that keeps everyone safe for years. So let me put the whole thing back together. Your rabbit is a prey animal that feels predator stress even without contact. So you start by honestly assessing whether your cat or dog is safe to even try with. You build a setup with real barriers and a solid top the cat cannot sit on. You seal the gaps that our HDB flats love to leave, and you move through scent, then barrier, then supervise same room, slowly, over months. You read your rabbit's fear honestly, you never leave them alone together, and you accept that for some animals, the right answer is a permanent, peaceful separation. Do it that patient way, and you give a fragile little animal the safe life it deserves. If you found this useful, come over to singaporerabbit.com. We put out a free weekly digest for Singapore rabbit owners, and you will find our directories there too, including the vet directory, so you can line up a rabbit-savvy clinic before you ever need one, which for a mixed pet household is something you really want sorted in advance. It is all free, and it is all made for owners right here. And if you are enjoying these, the next video is on reading your rabbit's body language properly, the ears, the posture, the thumps, and the flops, so you can actually tell what your bunny is feeling. So subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.